Hello and welcome to the programme. Now, Ukraine's military men and women who fight Russian aggression in the east of the country often return home with injuries. Now, a number of these servicemen are in need of reconstructive surgeries, which can really be very expensive. Now, since 2014, Ukrainian doctors and surgeons have been performing plastic surgeries on these servicemen for free. But they are not the only ones who help the soldiers. Now, Ukrainian specialists also offer a helping hand. Joining us in the studio, I'm pleased to say, is Oleg Timofey. He's a plastic surgeon at the Nowe Tilo clinic. Oleg, thank you very much for coming in and sparing your time to come into our studio today.
Thank you. Hello.
There's a lot of politics involved in the war, the Russia's war in Ukraine, but I wanted to get like a personal story from you today. So I just wanted to know, what was your main reason behind the decision to help these Ukrainian soldiers who have been wounded in battle and need desperately this help to get back to a normal life?
At first, I am a doctor, and my main duty is to help people, and soldiers and civilian people who are wounded in this conflict in Ukraine, especially like no one else need our help.
And when the war first started in 2014, a lot of soldiers were being wounded, but there was very little help. And I remember doing a story that the nearest hospitals were in what was then Dnipropetrovsk, so the soldiers had to go there. But when did you start working on plastic surgery?
We start to do this in Kiev, and we start to do this after we hear about many people who need our help. And when I know about this,
you started, being involved in this.
Yes, I decided to be a part of the people who can help them.
And you've had vast experience now, so for 3 years. What are the most common injuries that you deal with?
These people usually need reconstructive surgery. It's contouring of the body and face and removing the scar. And some people need face implants and other.
So it's a challenge then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a personal story from your work?
Yeah, I have one story about very young boy who was only 19 years old. His name is Sergey, and can you imagine that in this war he lost his left arm, and he was nearly killed by the blast, and he stayed alone, alive after this, but he needs our help. And I was wonder that so young boy, so brave, and I wanted to help him. Me with volunteers help him as we can. We remove his scar and it's less visible. Another people help him to buy new arm prostheses.
Yeah.
And now this brave young boy come back to normal life.
And there's so many stories like this from the war zone. And there's obviously a lot of Ukrainian specialists who are helping, but are you cooperating with any colleagues from abroad?
Sometimes when a colleague from abroad come to Ukraine and help our people, sometimes they need special instruments, and we with pleasure give them, and we are happy that we can to help them something. And also when our colleague from abroad do any difficult surgery, we can possibility to look, to see, to study also. And it's very useful for us.
And there's lots of stories of Canadian surgeons who have visited Ukraine numerous times to help these wounded war veterans. You know, from these soldiers, have you had any feedback on your work at all?
I don't want to blow my own trumpet. For me, the main thing is the quality of my job, and of course my patient who come and simply tell me, thank you, doctor.
That's enough, yeah? And I have one last question for you. Now, how long are you planning to continue your good work as a surgeon?
I want the finish of this war. It's fast, and I am going to do this as long as people need my help.
Okay, Oleg, thank you very much for coming in, and I wish you the very best of luck in your work.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tom.
That was Oleg Timofey. He's a plastic surgeon in the Nowe Tilo clinic. You're watching UATV.